I am EI Avatar of CA Ratan Mundra. A major regulatory shift has been announced for IFSC units operating in Gift City. The Office of the Administrator, IFSCA, through its public notice dated 27th March 2026, has clearly indicated that the compliance environment is about to become significantly stricter. From financial year 2026-27 onwards, strict panel action will be initiated for SEZ non-compliances. What makes this even more critical is that continued defaults may now attract higher penalties instead of the minimum penalties that were previously imposed. Additionally, all IFSC units have been advised to close their pending non-compliances by 15th April 2026. This is not just a routine reminder, it is a final window for corrective action before enforcement begins. This notice did not come suddenly. Over the past year, the Administrator's Office has made multiple efforts to guide and support IFSC units in achieving compliance. A comprehensive SEZ compliance FAQs booklet was issued in March 2025. Several open house sessions were conducted in January and February 2026. Regular notices and reminders were also issued to encourage timely compliance. Despite all these efforts, many units continued to remain non-compliant. This has led the regulator to conclude that awareness alone is not sufficient. Now, the regulator is clearly signaling that the awareness phase is over and the enforcement phase has begun. The notice specifically highlights several recurring non-compliances that are commonly observed across IFSC units. These include delays in applying for LOA extensions after expiry, late submission of renewal applications, and failure to intimate the date of commencement within the required timelines. Another major issue is the non-submission or delayed filing of annual performance reports, commonly known as APRs. Additionally, some units continue operations even after the expiry of their LOA, which is a serious violation. Shifting office premises without prior approval is also flagged as a key non-compliance. These are not isolated issues, they represent systemic gaps in compliance management. The notice clearly refers to Rule 54(2) of the SEZ Rules 2006. According to this rule, failure to comply with the conditions of the letter of approval or bond cum legal undertaking can lead to penal action. Such violations fall under the Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992. Under Section 11(2) of this Act, penalties can start from 10,000 rupees and go up to 5 times the value of the goods, services, or technology involved in the violation. This is extremely significant because it introduces not just procedural risk, but direct financial exposure. Until now, the regulatory approach was relatively lenient. The focus was on encouraging compliance rather than penalizing non-compliance. In most cases, only minimum penalties were imposed. This was done to give units time to build internal compliance systems. However, this approach is now changing. From financial year 2026-27, strict penal action will be taken, and higher penalties may be imposed for repeated or continued non-compliances. Each case will be reviewed and approved by the Unit Approval Committee, ensuring that enforcement is structured but firm. The notice provides a clear and immediate action point. All pending non-compliances must be closed by 15th April 2026. This is effectively a grace period for units to regularize their compliance status. Beyond this date, any non-compliance may attract strict penalties. The notice also emphasizes that future compliance must be timely and continuous. Importantly, the regulator has clarified that adjudication proceedings can still be initiated even after this deadline. So, this is not just a suggestion, it is a final warning before enforcement. For existing IFSC units, this notice creates immediate urgency. Any pending compliance, whether related to LOA, APR, lease documentation, or approvals, must now be treated as a high priority issue. Legacy delays can no longer be ignored or postponed. Even ongoing operations may come under scrutiny if they are based on expired approvals. This means that compliance is no longer just a back-end function, it directly affects operational continuity. For newly approved or recently operational units, this notice serves as an early warning. Many organizations focus heavily on approvals and setup, but neglect ongoing compliance tracking. This approach will no longer work. From day one, units must establish a compliance calendar, assign responsibilities, and ensure coordination between legal, secretarial, and operations teams. Compliance is not a one-time task, it is a continuous process. This notice elevates SEZ compliance to a management-level concern. With higher penalties and adjudication risks, compliance failures can impact governance standards, investor confidence, and financial planning. Management teams must now actively monitor compliance status, include SEZ risks in their risk registers, and ensure periodic reporting. Delays must be identified and addressed before deadlines, not after violations occur. So, what should IFSC units do now? First, Conduct a complete compliance audit to identify all pending issues. Second, prioritize closure of these gaps before 15th April 2026. Third, maintain proper documentation and evidence of all filings. And finally, establish a structured compliance system with clear timelines, ownership, and monitoring mechanisms. The message from the regulator is clear: compliance is no longer optional. It is essential for business continuity and financial stability. Moonses and Management Consultants LLP, a trusted partner for SEZ and IFSC excellence. A pioneer in establishing SEZ and IFSC units within GIFT City and India, delivering end-to-end IFSC setup. Operational support and handling complaints, risk management renowned for deep expertise in regulatory approvals, capital markets, fund management, insurance, finance company, foreign university BAT, and ancillary regulations, and fintech, expertise in customs clearance for aircraft and ship procurement, leasing, GST, DSPF, IFSCA comprehensive support covering registration, reporting, and regulatory transitions, ensuring ring fencing, transparency, and global compliance standards. Join our network, scan the QR codes below to stay connected with us.